So, um, welcome to the first ever podcast for the Indian Book Club, and this is Shafinur Shafin from Bangladesh. So, first of all, welcome to the first ever podcast of the Indian Book Club, and just take us through your academic journey to begin with.
Okay. Uh, I have completed my graduation and post-graduation in English literature from University of Chittagong in Bangladesh, and then I have
Okay,
done another master's from Kashmir University, but the subject was little different. It was in South Asian studies. So, like
okay.
two different subjects I had to go through.
Hmm. So you've been to India in that way.
Yeah, I had been, and it was a lovely experience, I must say.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So moving on, tell us something about your love for poetry and how it all began.
Okay. Um, well, I am very fortunate that I I was born in a family where I got people who love reading books a lot. So from since my
Okay.
childhood, I had that habit of book reading, and so that I was introduced to uh, stories from around, I mean, from all over the
Hmm.
countries in the world, and also I was introduced with poetry so much. But the thing is that I grew up with the love of poems, and my first, I can say that if you ask me that what types of poems I liked when I was a child, obviously the rhymes, but
Hmm.
when I was a teenager, I used to like mostly, that romantic poems, and because all teenagers, I think they like
Okay.
those much. And
Hmm.
this is actually how I started loving poems without knowing it, without feeling that I'm in love with poetry. But the thing is that
Okay.
I started, or I felt inspired to write poems. It didn't come from poetry directly, but it came from, like country songs, English country songs, or some Bengali songs, which I used to listen to. So I think that
Which all country
songs
songs did
are
you listen to?
very,
Might I ask?
yeah, English, like John Denver's, or sometimes I used
Okay.
to listen to some others as well. So those actually, I
Hmm.
think, inspired me to write poems mostly, because those lyric was, like uh, so so much connected to life and like everyday life, and I felt
Hmm.
like,
Hmm.
yeah, romance
Relatable.
and also the daily life, both, yeah, both are relatable, and I want to write something. From that, actually, I
Hmm.
have started writing poems.
Okay. So, which was the first poem you wrote and in which language? Might I ask, if you
Yeah,
remember
sure.
it?
Um, I wrote my first poem when I was the first year student of honors, BA honors, and I was, I think, 18 only, and it was written in Bengali, and I was so shy to show it to anyone. But my brother, elder brother, somehow he got that one, and he showed it to his editor friend, and without my knowing, that editor
Hmm.
published it, and that was the first time when I saw my poem can be published, and it
Okay.
actually mesmerized me, and also it was something which actually didn't stop me from
Okay.
writing. That, oh, okay, yeah.
Okay. So, moving on, can you tell us about what connects you to poetry?
What connects? Sorry.
What actually connects you to poetry? Like, where is the connection that where do you find the connection to
Okay.
poetry?
It actually it different for for every new poems I think the experience or the connection is different. What I believe so. Like sometimes maybe that conversation something picked me and from that I started writing a poem. But for something maybe I'm going to a crowd and whole picture somehow it inspires me to write something. So I think the connection of things are different. I mean those are different, but most of the time I think I am mm, I'm much like overwhelmed. I must say, like, or I'm most um, what to say actually. I'm just like I'm most connected to poetry through the daily life, my daily
Okay,
experiences.
through daily life. Okay, so moving on, uh, tell us about the genres you love about poetry, in poetry. Which all genres
Genre,
capture your imagination?
okay, as I said earlier, that when I was a kid, I used to like rhyme, and then when I was a teenager, I used to like romantic or romance poem. So,
Hmm.
but now I think I like something more philosophical, deep thought, and
Hmm.
also, uh, but I think I like confessional poetry most. What I find myself that confessional poems, I find myself um,
Hmm.
like I can actually connect them as a human being. We all
Hmm.
are very common being, like, and when we confess something, I mean, what I get in confessional poetry, that so many people, so many poets, they are actually confessing their own pain, own sufferings, all these things. So I like mostly confessional poems.
Hmm.
That's what genre I like actually.
So, yeah, okay. So, as a teenager, as you said, which all authors, which all poets, made it to your reading list? Which all were the ones you liked?
Mm, well, there are so many Bangladeshi writers who are my favorite, and I don't know if you have ever heard of Humayun Ahmed, Rabindranath Tagore, uh, and also the poet Jibanananda Das.
Rabindranath Tagore, yes.
Yeah, I know because he's also your national poet, I think so. So everyone
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
him.
yeah.
And Jibanananda Das, he is always my favorite, and
Hmm.
they are like, and there are some other very contemporary writers like Shahidul Jahir and then Shahadul. They are my favorite, and the thing is that, but they write in or they wrote in Bengali language. So when I got admission into English literature. That was the first time I started reading things or reading pieces in
Hmm.
English language. And like
Hmm.
through English, actually the door of the whole world actually opened to me. And
Yeah,
then
it has a wider audience. Yeah.
yeah, it has audience, or I can say that I started reading a whole world through a language, a particular
Hmm.
language, and that was English. So in English language, Milan Kundera, though he wrote in I think French and Czech language, but I have read him through English translation. Then Fyodor Dostoevsky was there,
The
who
translations,
are
yeah.
my favorite, who is my favorite translations. And
Okay.
there are Arundhati Roy also my favorite. So these are some I can name.
Hmm.
Okay. And for
So,
poetry,
you,
Sylvia
wro-
Plath is also my favorite.
hmm. So you actually felt that, reading in English would open the door to a wider world of understanding, right? Something that
Yes.
isn't there in regional languages because, they are confined to a particular section, to a particular community. So have you ever thought of sort of translating your own poems at times? Have you
Um,
translated any of them?
yeah, I haven't translated, but I have translated others' poems into English. I mean, other Bengali
Hmm.
poems into English. But um, I started
Not
writing
your own.
my own, no, not my own. My own
Okay.
poem was translated by someone else, but not by myself. Though I had an idea. I
Okay.
had always an idea that I should actually translate my poems as well.
Hmm. Okay. So, you also work for a literary portal called the Structure Review. So tell us about that and how did you sort of, feel yourself connected to that portal since it's also related to literature and poetry and all of that.
Okay. Okay, it's quite interesting story because I started this magazine. I mean, all of a sudden, uh, I was having a
Hmm.
conversation with a friend. He is a poet as well, and um, he
Hmm.
he was saying that, oh, you write English poem very good, so, and also you have knowledge in English good, so, and you translate also, so why don't you start a magazine, which can be a platform for all of us, I
Okay.
mean,
So
we can
crowdsourcing
actually,
platform. Yeah.
yeah, we can publish
So
our poems in English so that readers from other countries, they can read our poems, so that can be a good
to
connection
come
for us.
together through
And
literature. Yeah.
yeah, to come together through literature. So that idea, I liked that idea very much, and I thought that, okay, fine, then
Hmm.
start it. It was like that. And but the
Hmm.
thing is that when I first started, I didn't have any idea how to edit points or how to select them through, and so that
Hmm.
I knew that if I start something where I cannot follow a quality, then within some days it will fall down. So what I did that,
Hmm.
I talked to several people and I found a co-editor with me, Anika Shah, and we both actually started that journey of Prachi Review
Hmm.
together. And I must say that I have
Okay.
learned, because she has a very good knowledge on editing, and I have learned a lot from her. Because and I also, yeah, I translated poems, and I also encouraged other people to translate and
Hmm.
to send their English poem, original English poem, to our magazine.
Okay.
And I had an intention that um, it should be a platform for very, I mean, not very known people, but also for those who need a place where they can publish their good pieces. So that's what actually I
Aspiring
thought
writers.
from,
Yeah.
yeah, aspiring writer.
Aspiring writers. Okay.
Hmm.
So yeah, which brings me to my next question. What, according to you, is poetry? Like, how do you view poetry?
Well, poetry is, to me, it's image, like image and thought. Like through image, I may see a world, I may see, I may
Hmm.
find some philosophy of life, some thoughts which can actually let me to think something more. So it's like that. And also
Hmm.
it actually brings me, though people say that poetry is far away from reality, but to me poetry is something can bring you to reality actually.
So it's the bridge between reality and fantasy, is what you want to
And
say.
imagination, yeah, it's like that.
Yeah. Okay. So, if you could narrate a few lines from your favorite poem, whatever it is, like. First of all, if you could tell me what your favorite poem is.
Uh,
Like, if
well,
you had to
it's
choose one, which one would it be?
um, I think. mm Well, you have just put me in trouble, like because I all the poems. If you say that, just select one. That's really difficult for me. But yeah, I can say that there are some poems like I want to write my fear, which I have wrote when I was in Kashmir. It was in 2015.
Okay,
That this one is one of my favorites. But another one that is, I can say that my mother. That one is also. I mean, that's very recent poem. I wrote it just last year, I think so. So that one also,
okay, okay.
I can say. Mm,
And
and
any of the
if you
Western
want
writers,
to,
any of the Western poets you like, or have an inclination towards, be it the likes of Shelley or Sylvia Plath for that matter. Any of the Western writers that you might follow.
sorry, hello,
Yeah, I was saying any of the
Gulraj,
Western
can you
writers that
please
you might follow.
repeat?
Yeah, so I was saying
I
any of
don't
the Western
follow
writers
I
that you
don't
might
follow
follow.
anyone. I don't follow anyone, but I can say that I'm inspired by many, like Sylvia
Hmm.
Plath and Sexton, and also I took the name of Milan Kundera because I think Milan Kundera is like my god. I mean, god of writing and god of thought. So.
Okay,
Uh, I love him so much. So I think these are
so someone
some
you look forward to.
someone, yeah, I can say I'm not sure that if I can ever be like Milan Kundera, but yeah, he's my favorite. I can say that one. That whose
Okay.
um, writing is actually something which I would like to
Hmm.
follow.
Okay. So, which brings me to my last question. If you were to describe poetry in one word, what would it be?
Sorry,
If you were to describe poetry in one word, what would it be? Describe poetry in
life,
one word for me.
life.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, this very much concludes the interview. So, thank you very much, Shafinur, once again for joining us and taking us through your journey and your love for poetry. It was nice having you on the Indian Book Forum.
Thank you so much,
So,
Gulraj, for inviting me to
hmm,
such wonderful
hmm,
uh, occasion. And also, I'm really honored that you thought of me. Thank you so much.
most welcome. So, this was Gulraj with Shafinur for the Indian Book Club. For more such interesting interviews, kindly subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much.